Here we go. There it is. It's just one of those nights. So let's get started. We're a little bit late, but that is okay. So let's see what's going on. It's a little bit of free form tonight. There's really no topic, and we're just going to see exactly what the cards come out. And feel free to ask questions. It is welcomed. Leave a like, a comment, a share. And right now we're going to go right to the Tarot Sacred Kingdoms. Here it is. So right off the bat, it really is this Five of Pentacles. And this Five of Pentacles has to do with a type of loss. A type of loss. And when you see it and you actually look at these two cards that are poking out, it's the King of Swords upright with the Wheel of Fortune upside down in reverse. And it really means that there was something that had to do with justice. It had to do with law and order, to due process, to anything of that matter where you couldn't even get anything done proper. And when that actually happened, where you actually couldn't get anything done, it really wasn't true. It really wasn't true. And so when you actually look up to Karen Reed and you see how it plays out all the way down to Michelle Chikronos down here, then you have to say that something was wrong. But in reality, that I can see as a psychic, that there was something about Jennifer Dulos that was actually pretty not out there. And that was okay, but she really, as I can see, is a descendant of a Teamster. And so when I actually look at Teamsters, and they are really about steel. And so when I look at Jackson Pratt and I look at, all these aviation areas, I have to say to the railroads, there is something, because Teamsters is also known for Jimmy Hoffa for tea and rebar. So when I look at it to that point, and then you say, well, it has to do with cocaine, then it really is a damper on everything, When I see this, it had to do with a marriage. It had to do with a partnership. It had to do with how everything played out. It had to do with contracts down to stips and tiers and treaties and anything in politics. So when you actually look at these families, these really old families like Getty and Vanderbilt and Astor, to the Gambinos, to the Giovancis, to the Gallos, that you have to say that there was something about this, because there was something that came through on a straight on out that wasn't about anything of that nature, but it really was a hard on stop. When I look at this, and I say this as a psychic, the Knight of Pentacles to the Devil in reverse means there was a type of inhibition, like they had to get it done with Jennifer Dulos and Teamsters, and how we have with Karen Reed. So when I look at it and I see that Knight of Pentacles, what was this offer on the table? It's probably about money, mostly with these mob families. But when you see the Six of Wands in reverse, it means there was no riding into victory. There was halt stops, there was animosity, there was something about that. And what we know of Jennifer Dulos is that her and her spouse were on the verge of a divorce, and it was heinous. So when you see it and you see the Two of Cups and you say, what was this partnership? And it was already known about Michelle Chikronos. So when we look at it, and you can literally look it up because it's in the courts and to the media. Page of Wands, you say, where is this actually coming from? It really comes from this lack of spark of animosity. So when you have a lack of spark of animosity, it actually means that you can't get anything done, because it's not lighting, it's not igniting. It's a dull relationship to a dull workplace behavior. So the Eight of Swords in reverse, it is highly deceitful to where it goes through. When you see the Knight of Pentacles with the King of Pentacles in reverse, it is such a takeaway about inheritance, which we know about divorces anyways. It really can take away. But when you see the Chariot, it comes in full force. So what else do we need to know about Karen Reed, Michelle Chaconas, Jennifer Dulos, and all these things? Because there's something that we're seeing in the media that's very, very common when it's about to pop off. What else do we need to see? Here it is. So the 501s, alleviation. It's an alleviation of struggle. So when you see the Six of Swords in reverse, you go, no, I don't think so. I don't think it's alleviation of struggle. It's almost a halt stop. Like they don't let you do anything. Seven of Swords, no. There's no like going for it when you actually look at it. To the Six of Pentacles, deals and offers on the table, contracts, absolutely. It still goes on. You still have litigation and mitigation and things in protests and union business still to go about. But why aren't we talking about this? This is a big deal. This is exactly what they've been talking about. Like there's no steal. Watch the water. Watch everything as it's going. Is it leaking? Is it informant? Is it a whistleblower? It isn't. There really is a difference between those three, but it's not a common factor. So when I look at this Knight of Wands in reverse, when it comes to actually talking about it in the public, it has this imbalance where people actually stop talking about it. And this actually happened around 1980 to about 1992, especially after we just saw former Governor Rowland pardoned over an issue that he had while he was in office. And then we have the Chrisleys who were just pardoned also. It's all about money, embezzlement, about money laundering, about anything that comes through that. So what is that? When you actually start seeing it in the numbers in your daily life and it's very open, then you have to say something else is going on, especially if you've done everything right, per se. Now, when you say, the Knight of Swords comes rushing in, it really does. It really does. All of a sudden, you can just be at the gas station and you're just doing what it is, whatever you got to do. And you're like, no, you're done. You're like done with work. You're going to sit at home. This has to come with like feminine energy. For some reason, feminine energy tends like I'm hearing, it's almost a two pence. I don't know why I'm hearing two pence. But really, it comes in nasty. It comes in quick, highly intuitive. All right, let's look at this. Eight of Hearts, it's like a game on the table at night when it happens. Nine of Spades, you can't even see it coming. I see like with the Nine of Spades, like a bank account. When I see bank accounts, it affects everybody in the town. When you see the Seven of Spades, like you look at your car and you're like, I need car repairs. All of a sudden. When you see the Four of Diamonds, it's a luck. It's like straight out luck. King of Spades. It's just straight on out. It was simple. It was already there. It was already right there. King of Hearts. That was the last card for that. It really means that it sits solid. All right. How is this going to affect us for the rest of the week? Akashic Tarot. There we go. With this, there's no opposing views. So views of the ego, it is like straight out. Like you saw it, you heard it, you felt it. And it happened, like it blocked, stopped right there. It was already right there. So when I actually look at, the death of Trooper First Class Aaron Pelletier, and I'm seeing Traconis, and I'm seeing Jennifer Dulos, and I'm seeing everything else go down, is this like a conspiracy theory? It really is not a fall, but when I see this summer and autumn card with it's the Four of Forces in reverse, it actually means a slide through of like paperwork, like a lot of paperwork coming in. What does this mean? Is this like a conspiracy theory? It is a joke. The energy right on the split of the deck is the Muse, and it's like no offerings, the Queen of Roses. No offerings. I see initiation and the Count of Saint Germain. There was something that was like getting started that was meant for a good time. It was meant for everything good to happen, and it was meant to be as a good reveal. But we're talking about an unveiling. I almost can't even get my words out. So when I see it and I go, Hilarion, it ends up being like a pillar. A pillar. So no play on words. It's not pills. But a pillar in that situation is like a type of structure of a hold up. It's like that's how the thought process is. Like it's a pillar. It's a hold up. It literally has like you almost have to hold your breath. You're like in crescent moon. It really has to do with like cyclic behaviors. When you see this breaking of commitments, like it was so straight on out. We all had to say, are we all thinking the same thing? Is this a conspiracy theory? Because it's very odd. It's very, very odd. All right. Not a joke. It's not a joke. I'm seeing like rifts between people, and I hate saying rifts, but it basically means like there is a rift so bad that you can't get rid of it, and you can't even like sue anyone or go into court, but everyone's on a hold up and sit there until we figure this out on how this happened. When you see the Queen of Roses in reverse, again, no offers on the table. Because when you see it and you says it has to be about balance, all forms of balance, even to checkbooks, to a library card, to like everything nitpicky, everything. King of Scrolls in reverse, something's not written. Something's not written. Opposing views, highly opposing views. So as we look at this, let's go to screen share here for a second. There was something about how here it is. Yes, we're having this again too. We're watching how everything is playing out with the way this all played out also. Let's look. Karen Reed, where are you? There it is. Let's go up here. You can't even make it up. Straight out the bat. So what I'm seeing in this picture right here is that it was already known. There was already known that there was something coming in with these two. By the way that their eyes are, they're already glowing. They're already happy. They're already seeing how it played out. There is something of a like a line or a tear down the middle, but when you actually look at how it all played out, the way that she has her neck right here that I see as a psychic, just body language, there was something of a mess. And when you see this like something of a mess, you can't even like put cards on table or play a poker game because it's going to get found and everyone's going to get agitated. So when I see these things and it says, there was something about the doctor about the head injury, how he was left in the snow for dead, skull fractures. So what he is showing me about his skull fractures, they're indicative of like baseball. But really, I'm not seeing a baseball bat because it was her saying that something was just not right and that she hit him by accident with the car backing out. He was brought to a friend's house and then he was found in the snow. So we'll stop right there. And that was like how like quick it ended. Here we go. So what else do we need to know about this? Views of the ego. That's all it's saying. There was views coming down. This like in relation to Michelle Chaconas and Jennifer Dulos? Let's do this one, the literary witches oracle. There was dishonesty. There was something of like a lacking. We'll double check that. Spider. Focus, planning, digesting. Like we said, there was something. They saw it. They saw it coming. There was something coming. You couldn't believe it. We already had what was potentially coming, a big unveiling. When you see this and you go, no, I think there was something else going on because this is about divine splendor. Divine splendor. When you look at this, it had power behind this whole story. When you see it, then all of a sudden you had loss. And then all of a sudden, like everyone is healing mentally, emotionally, and physically to financially. And then when you see it, you actually have to pace yourself. There's so many missing like parts to these stories. But we'll ask again. There's something about each family. When you look at Teacup, like they're all at like ease, at rest, like they're not doing a whole lot. There's something about mastery and strength with these families. And when you look at Book, it's about a revelation. Like they said, there was going to be like a big like reveal, a big unveiling that they kept talking about in this underground patriot movement, that there was something coming in, that you had to watch the water, you had to watch like everything, you had to watch like about 3D and 5D and 3G and 5G and how it all would play out down to like COVID, and then they had bird flu. All right. So there was like this huge perspective change between not only with Karen Reed's situation, then with Michelle Traconas and Jennifer Dulos and Faustus Dulos, and then also too with Trooper First Class Aaron Pelletier and Dominique Pelletier, that you actually have to say like it went down the line all throughout the year, down to like 44 to 60 officers, which was almost a little bit too much. a little bit too much. Living in a fantasy? It could be. A lot of people are saying that it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And then you say historically what has actually happened that actually would actually go into this. This was something that I'm seeing like JFK actually was going through like 1960 through 1961. When I see cauldron, it's not what you think it means. It's about creativity, where they actually surprise themselves about togetherness. And when you actually see it to the actual story of how it all played out, it was like wit and fun. Wit and fun. So when I see doll, let's go to the book. This one is one of the harder decks to master. Illusions, old wounds, childhood. I feel like there was a revelation. Like I feel like all of a sudden that you're not supposed to be next to me because it's a conflict of interest. How to do about like a type of freedom. All right. Next, just on that topic, what does it mean as far as Doge, about Elon Musk, about how we had all these crazy instances, at least here in Connecticut, to Texas, where they had multiple people found deceased in a pond. They found one person deceased in a pool. We had another woman pass away in a park, in a cemetery. Then we also had like a seal, like a fur seal, in New Haven, and then all of a sudden we have an elephant seal down in South Africa in the suburbs. Like it's like bizarre behavior, oddities. So when I see this and I say Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life, it really has to do with like, I don't know why. Like when I say I don't know why, that means there's something like gonna come down the pike. Here we go. Devotion, potency, making your life a repair. It's like when they go about, they already know it, and it's just war. It's just immediate war, no matter who you are. It was like stop, embrace the void. Then all of a sudden you have Waterbury. Waterbury was actually probably one of the biggest ones, with a woman locked in a house with another man for 20 years, and all of a sudden the only way you could get out was a fire. Energetic serenity, observing what is not yours. That is true. It's still unknown if there was any issues with, like, besides who we had as Joyce Grayson, who passed away, as our other visiting nurses, because we also had Lakin Riley. So when we also look at this and we say cosmic ancestors, see the light by staying grounded, it's like I'm seeing like butterflies. I'm also seeing bees that kind of flying about. And when you look at this, it's like longing for home, homesick for stars. Like you just got to get home. All of a sudden, you just got to get home. You just got to go. So plan, fated life, destiny life. There's a difference. I feel like there is someone who doesn't understand out there about the difference of that. And lastly, with this, it goes to like loyalty, safety, trust, and protection. And then you say, like, what is actually going on all of a sudden? So when you see it, it goes, follow your intuition before it makes sense. Sometimes it's just right there. All of a sudden, it's just right there. All right, moving on. What else is coming through with us? Because we really didn't get out like a conspiracy theory. We didn't get out PSYOP. We didn't get out MK Ultra. We didn't see plan. We didn't see unveiling, which is heinous. Absolutely heinous. Owl. Totems. Like I see totems. I see this. I see cryptids to where it's actually cryptic. Messengers. all going out, like an all going out. Lantern. I don't know why I keep saying lantern. And with this, I see a go for it. And then when I see this, nature. It's like nature at best at hand. And when I see frog, it really has to do with the rain. Stingray, it really has to go with everything that is hard and like not aligned. When you see this and you say camel, it's really like this odd thing that comes through. It's like like you just can't even speak. Like you see it, this like odd thing in the neighborhood, and you're like, it's not supposed to be there. It's never been there before. Zebra, exotic. Like it's like exotic. And then all of a sudden it busts out. Then you have a street takeover, and then all of a sudden you see everything like pop off. Tarantula, it's like already known. And then when you see the bear, it actually comes right through. And it's a form of law enforcement. So when I see a lion, it actually sits calmly. All right. There we go. Dictatorship to a source. It comes in hard. It comes in fast. It is like a hard over to a smooth over to like a moving on. It is a like wish fulfillment. It's really nothing that you can actually get together with. There's no deals on the table. And when I see this and I see the Page of Swords, you can't even like get it done. I also see it has something to do with like denial forms. It has something to do with adherence to standards of practice. It also has to do with the way everything is handled, like policy, procedure, and protocol. So then all of a sudden there is no deal on the table. So when I look at it, it is like a thief in the night, but there is no steal, but it's STEEALE. So when I look at this and I go, you can't even believe how hard it is to actually be at rest and then lock it down and be like not even to a point of hypervigilant, that there is no form of a law enforcement to a contract. So it's really not coming out exactly what happened with all these officers when they passed away, and all the spouses and the families who are not doing the best, and there's ones in court at this time. But you actually have to say there's something about honor. When you look at it and you say the world, it's about completing a cycle, it really has to be like an ending when the Ten of Swords in reverse comes out, like an end of a struggle. What was this struggle? Because I'm seeing offers and they're like, no, I'm not doing. It comes in strong, these offers. Four of Pentacles reverse, no. There's like no securement. No securement. So when I see this, complete. We did it. It was good. Completion of a cycle to ending of cycles. This Wheel of Fortune to a type of luck. No victory though. There's no victory. But it really sits well, like well planted. Well planted. So when I see well planted with the Queen of Pentacles, it has to do with monetary value. Again, here it is. It is the Seven of Swords. It is a takeaway. It's a type of takeaway. There's some sort of unhappiness that actually comes through with this situation that's at hand. There we go. Knight of Swords, there's no cutout. And then also to the Knight of Pentacles. So Knight of Swords in reverse to the Knight of Pentacles. It will go through for the rest of the week. It'll be fine. It really is nothing of this point of ill justice. It does alleviate the struggle. To the Five of Cups in reverse. To the upright, it wants to come out in reverse. Seven of Cups. I'd have to say, like, there's a lot of options all of a sudden for a bunch of people who maybe in that community have not done well from these instances. Queen of Swords, there's no logic to it, but it works well. It's not always the best of female energy. So let's look at the runes. And that will be it. Here we go. It has to do with wealth, whatever is like flowing through with all these like problems with Israel and Ukraine and everything that we experience with the Biden administration. It's still hidden, especially when it comes to like medical records on a lot of these like problems. It really is gift. It has to do with a gift. And when you look at it, it has a lot of power. So when you look at it, it's like I'm seeing GI symptoms with these problems that is causing like havoc, like almost this like haywire effect. So and then it goes just to like no intuition, to just instinct. Like can't even get the words out. It has to do with also like birth. So when I'm looking at birth, I'm actually looking at birth records. I'm looking at how Doge revealed about how people are already enrolled with benefits, even though they've never been born yet. And then when you see this and it goes, this actually is like a lake effect when it comes to being like a stand forth and a stead forth. When you see this, it really is like 4 p.m., like 5 p.m. and 9 p.m. odd energies that causes a freeze. And it's happy. It's happy. It's a gift. A gift. When you go and it has like any form of like collecting, like you're going for groceries, you're going anything of that nature, nasty, everything. Ill fate. It has to do with trolling everything about like heritage and estate. That's why there's a lot of upset about, I can even like upset, be about, know about, so about. It really goes to like a trolling of everything what Othala and Charas mean. It literally means like probate. It means your body, your mind, to where you can't even get it out. You can't even get it out. Strength, ashed, like it's ashed. To the point of defense, and where they actually do luck to a game. and they go about and they collect. It's like nasty, nasty. Whatever it is, I feel like we'll see words in the media as it is revealed forever, like for the rest of the week. So if you do have any questions or concerns, leave a comment, a like, a share, a comment. It's greatly appreciated, and we will talk to you soon.